Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to break down a really core concept in the world of modern IT, the VMware vCenter cluster. Now, I know it sounds super technical, but trust me, at its heart, it's a pretty simple and powerful idea. It's all about taking a bunch of individual computers and turning them into one super smart collaborative team. So, let's dive in. All right, to kick things off, let's start with a question, and it's one that probably keeps a lot of you IT folks up at night. Picture this. Your company's most important stuff, all of your critical applications, are all running happily on one single, very important server. But what happens if that server just goes down? Well, the answer is pretty brutal, right? Everything just stops. Your applications, your data, your services, the whole operation comes to a grinding halt. And that right there is what we call the lone worker problem. When you put all your eggs in one basket, when you trust just a single point of failure, well, that failure can be catastrophic. Okay, so that's the problem. But what's the solution? What if there was a better, more resilient way? Instead of relying on that one lone worker, what if we could build a whole collaborative team? Well, that's exactly what a vCenter cluster is all about. It's a total shift in thinking, from isolation to cooperation. And you can really see the difference when you put them side by side. Over on the left, you've got the lone worker. All its power is trapped inside that one box. It is a single point of failure. But then you look at the smart team, the cluster, and it's a completely different story. It's all about pooled power and having a built-in safety net for the whole team. So the magic behind this is a concept called resource pooling. Just think about it. You take all the brain power, the CPU, and all the memory from every single server, and you mash them all together into one giant shared pool of resources. Now all that collective power is available to any application, anywhere in the cluster, whenever it needs it. Now, you know any great team needs a great manager, right? Someone to call the shots and make sure everyone is working together efficiently? Well, in our world, that manager is the vCenter server. It's the central brain of the operation that oversees all the individual servers, we call them hosts, and it coordinates everything to keep the team running in perfect harmony. So here's the cool part. This team doesn't just work hard, it works smart. It's got a couple of key features, let's call them magic rules, that are designed specifically for resilience and peak efficiency. Let's check out the first one. Okay, magic rule number 1, vSphere high availability, or just HA for short. The best way to think about this is like the team's next person up policy. You know, if one of the workers suddenly calls in sick, or in our case, a server goes offline, the manager doesn't freak out. It just instantly and automatically gives that server's work to other available team members. Nothing gets dropped. So let me walk you through how this actually plays out. It's awesome. So boom, a host fails. Instantly, vCenter knows. It immediately takes action, finds other healthy hosts on the team that have room, and automatically restarts those applications, those virtual machines, right on them. And the result? Barely a blip. Your users probably won't even notice. It's just seamless. All right, on to magic rule number 2, the Distributed Resource Scheduler, or DRS. Now, if HA is all about reacting to a disaster, DRS is about preventing problems before they even happen. It's the proactive brains of the operation. It's like the manager is constantly watching everyone's workload, making sure no single team member is getting buried in work. Let's look at a real-world example. Before DRS, you might have a situation like this, where one host is just getting hammered, running at 90% capacity, while these other two are kind of just chilling out. Well, DRS spots this imbalance and says, whoa, no way, let's spread the love, and it just automatically moves things around, shifting those virtual machines to the less busy hosts, so now everybody's sharing the load. This is how you prevent those performance bottlenecks. Okay, so I can hear you asking, but wait, what happens if the manager, vCenter, has a problem? Great question. And yeah, VMware definitely thought of that. It's a little thing called vSphere Cluster Services, or VCLS. Think of them as tiny little assistant managers that live on the hosts themselves. Their whole job is to make sure those magic rules, HA and DRS, keep running smoothly, even if the main vCenter manager is offline for a bit. It's a failsafe for your failsafe. Okay, so we've got this super smart team, a brilliant manager, and these magic rules. That's all great, but so what? Why does any of this actually matter in the real world? What's the big payoff? Well, it all boils down to 4 huge wins for you. First, thanks to HI, you get way better uptime. Things just stay on. Second, with DRS balancing everything, you get optimal performance. Everything just runs better. Third, your life gets so much easier with simplified administration. And finally, when you need more power, it's a piece of cake to scale. You just add another server to the team. And I really want to double-click on that simplified administration part. You'll hear this called the single pane of glass all the time. And what it means is, instead of juggling and logging into dozens of different servers, you manage this entire powerful team from one screen. It's all about taking something really complex and making it feel simple.
All right, as we start to land the plane here, I want to ask you to change your thinking. I want you to stop thinking about a group of individual servers all doing their own thing. That's the old way. Because you haven't just connected a bunch of boxes, you've actually created something entirely new.
And this quote right here just nails it. The whole point is to manage many hosts and VMs as a single system. That's the whole ballgame. You're not managing parts anymore. You've built a single, powerful, intelligent supercomputer. And that really leaves us with one last big idea to think about. See, a vCenter cluster isn't just cool technology for the sake of it. It's a tool that lets you solve really big problems. So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you know how to build your very own supercomputer, what are you going to do with it? What big, amazing problem are you going to solve?